Hi. I want to talk something through, and I have a lot of stuff going on around it. So, projections, I'm not sure what's going on, it's chaotic. I don't want. There's something I feel really strongly about in regards to this. I have very opposing parts within myself, and I'm unclear of that, so I'm kind of like hoping to unpack that by talking. I also feel like there are some things that I would like to express outwardly, that it's like me talking about this, so it's related to men, sex, trusting men, not trusting men, being cautious, not being cautious, doing things right, doing nothing right, doing everything wrong. Tinder, of course. That's kind of like the topic at hand. And I feel like talking to you or talking into the camera, it will be like, it's almost like I've put someone in front of me that, or I assume that the reaction to this video will be like, oh, but you should have, but you shouldn't have, but you should have, which might not be true. That's a projection, could be, but here's the thing, like, I'm thinking, yes, I assume, I expect a certain reaction, and this is the reaction that I almost always got. So it's not like, I don't want it to be like like I'm unhinged and I'm just projecting, because I think I'm speaking to something that is prevalent in people, in society as well. So it's both real and a lot of stuff inside me at the same time. So I just want to put that on the table first, and then I want to share what happened, and I just want to tell you, if you have anything to say, don't don't tell me shit. And I might change my mind about that later on, but that's my current state. I also want to, when I talk about this, I don't want to be like, oh, there's part of me that's suspicious about that. I don't want to create that distance between me and myself. So it's hard being here talking about something that I'm already like like this, for like expecting comments like, oh, but you're not really aware of this and you should think this, or like, I'm not expecting this to just be received and seen as valid. I don't expect people to be on my side. I don't expect like people to be like, yeah, that's understandable and I get it, that's true, and maybe and like, I was thinking, and maybe you could have been more careful with that, or maybe you could have been more careful with that. But like, that's where my anger comes in, because I think that's a little bullshit in that. So I will tell you what happened. And please don't tell me shit. don't tell me. There's so that reaction, when I'm already like, don't tell me shit, that's like a response to both a voice inside my head and what I'm used to people telling me. So I matched with a guy on Tinder 4 days ago, and he lives nearby. He was very quick to be like, we should meet. Not really a question, I think. We should meet. You can come to where I live. Which already I'm like, claws out. Like, why you ask to meet me before I know you, before you know me? Not that, you're too quick. You're not following my rhythm at all. Not attuned. And then why I come to your place? Make a fucking effort and drive those 15 minutes and come to my place. Offer that. Like, offer. So I was already rubbed the wrong way, and then he wants to call and we didn't even like text for 10 minutes, and he's like, give me your number, I'll call you. And I'm like, no one's calling me after 10 minutes. So then I'm like, and then this is on me, I was like, well, I don't like phone calls. If you wanna, then I would prefer meeting face to face. Like, what I really would prefer is continued texting, but I didn't catch that in myself at the moment. So he's like, then okay, let's meet then. And I'm just like, no, I don't mean in this very second. I'm about to go to bed. Like, I'm just preparing dinner, I'll eat, shower, and sleep. He's like, oh, but you can just like come meet me like for a few minutes. And I'm like, no, I don't feel like that. Like, all I want to do is like eat and sleep, eat, shower, and go to bed. He's like, fine, you're away. And I'm like, that's such a fucking bad response. So I'm more upset. And then he texts me the next day, 11:30 in the night, are you out drinking? Party? And I'm like, this guy who said he wanted a long-term relationship, he's out for something serious, texting me almost midnight. Bullshit. So I'm reading the message when I'm waking up, probably around turning my phone on 6 in the morning next day, reading the message, being like, okay, I don't really think we're looking for the same thing. He's like, why do you say that? And I'm like, because you're texting me in the middle of the night. It's easy for me to make like, if you really don't want to get to know me, you would ask me for a coffee or some, like, you would talk to me. And then this is so fucking messed up, because I feel like the signs are so clear when it comes to what he wants. If he wanted to get to know me, he would have shown different behavior. But then his words keep saying, no, I just blah 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 something. So I'm already like, now my gaslighting patterns are like, I'm doubting myself, I'm questioning, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm starting to feel confused, maybe he is one of the good guys after all, you know, maybe all this shit is showing up. And where am I going with this? Well, it ends up with some back and forth, and he's like, well, your response wasn't really nice. You've been really rejective quite early on in the conversation. When you're like, oh, I just want to go to bed. And I'm like, yeah, you got some hostility from me early on, that's correct. But it's so making me frustrated that it's not seen as something in response to him. And my argument inside my head, I feel so chaotic, because inside my head there's like, well, I should not expect the worst. I should, yeah, that's my bias, you know. I shouldn't just because I've had a lot of bad experiences, I shouldn't put that on the next guy and the next guy. So I should kind of like have clean slate and trust everyone 100% from the get-go every time, which is kind of dumb, but that's what I expect of myself. So I'm just, because it's so chaotic inside me, so I'm trying to think. Yeah, so he said something like, clearly you have like bad experiences with men and you're putting that on me, and that's your problem, not mine, which is quite a common sentence that I hear. That if I have any like form of resistance or any like clause come out, it's not seen as valid. They don't understand. I feel that so strongly, like men don't understand the position they have and still are putting themselves in by their behavior. They're so ignorant and blind to what they're doing and what it's like to be a woman. It makes me so, it drives me fucking nuts with that one. So then that's my problem, which is what a fucking stupid thing to say. It's such a stupid thing for a number of reasons. And he proceeds to, well, so do you want to meet? And I'm like, no. I feel like we're both rubbing each other the wrong way. I'm not really feeling like meeting. Well, have it your way. And you're not exactly as pretty as Angelina Jolie, so I'm not going to beg for it. I'm like, cool, don't beg for it. That was not my intention. I wasn't wanting you to beg. But cool. So then we end that. And that's just a whole like interaction of, from my perspective, him being like, but I'm a good guy and you have bad experiences in the past and you should trust me. And then I've been talking to another guy on Tinder for what now, a few weeks. And here, this is my judgment in my head now, so this is what I expect. Like, you've been so fucking stupid with this. So he said he was a physiotherapist. I feel shame for saying this. And we have a conversation and he's like, oh, but I would really like to help you with these like ailments you have in your body. And I'm like, really? Because that sounds a lot like I want to fuck you. He's like, no, for real. Like, I don't. And we have like some conversations back and forth, and he's very, I'm being very clear that I'm not asking for sex. That's not what's going to happen. And it's a genuine question. If he actually want to help like he offered. And he's like, sex was not part of the conversation at all. Nothing sexual, no flirting, nothing. It was like a friendly conversation, because we quite like after the first week found out we're not compatible. But he's new here, doesn't have any friends. He can help me with certain things. I can help. Yeah, there's like, it was we could benefit each other, you know. So today he's like, I have the day off. Do you want me to help you today? Do you want me to like look at your body? And I was like, yeah, if you want to. And I'm aware in that moment that this is like a risk move. I know that. In the back of my head is like, if you tell this to anyone else, if this goes shit, and you will be blamed 100% for trusting someone you met on Tinder. You didn't talk to them for more than 2 weeks. He's a guy. Of course he wants sex. Of course. How stupid can you be? Believing his word. And that makes me fucking pissed off. That it's made to be my fault. That, and even men would say that. How can you be such an imbecile? Like, how can you be so stupid believing a man? I'm like, can you hear yourself? Can you hear yourself? Men are so untrustworthy that for me to take someone's word, I must be fucking a crackhead. You men want to live with this reputation, or you want to clean your fucking shit up? This is so horrible. And it's such a it's such a mess too, because if I don't trust a man, the man will blame me for that. If I trust him and it goes bad, I'm blamed for trusting him too. You can't get it right. You can't get it right. Men will be so offended if I'm like, oh, I had some bad experiences with men in the past, so I want to take it slow. Whoa, don't compare me with these guys. I'm a good guy. Don't. And I'll get scolded for even voicing that, which it's a completely thing That's fine to voice. Like, I want to be careful. Like a sane answer would be like, I hear you. You had bad experiences in the past. Thank you for letting me know. Makes me think I want to be careful. But anyway, so here I am in the back of my head being like, pay attention because you're putting yourself in a position that's risky. Although I trust him enough to try. It would be really nice if you could trust people's word, wouldn't it? And I meet him and we talk and he's nice. We come home to my place and like I feel, again, the shame's coming up. I feel like the judgment. I'm so fucking stupid for doing this. So fucking stupid. I really want to, like, that part of me, I really wonder what that part of me think I should do. Probably not trust anyone's word ever. And then I hear my mom's voice inside my head, or other people too. If I'm too hesitant to trust, I have trust issues and I should really learn to trust. Fucking hate this. So we come home and I ask him, okay, what do you need? And he's like, I just need like an oil and you put yourself down on the bed. I'm like, okay, everything's fine for a good while, until he starts touching me in ways that are not what we agreed. And what kind of I didn't freeze. Good for me. I was calm enough to... I was quite calm. Interesting though. My first reaction, and I know this from the past, that this is something I do, or something that comes up in me. I'm like, the first time he touches me in like a sexual way, I'm just like, I'm going to pretend that didn't happen and hope it passes. I've done that before. But then I'm like, this is not what we agreed. He said I could trust him. Hearing the voice inside my head, you should never trust a guy who says you can trust him. And I'm so mad that most people will blame me for this. Which feels to me so unfair. And I think it's really frustrating to me that I can't win. I'm made to be wrong no matter what I do. So I push him away and I'm like, this is not what we agreed on. I was very clear about what I wanted and what I didn't want, and you said you understand. And you said that you can tell I'm like a decent person, so of course you wouldn't try nothing like that. And he was even upset or offended when when I made it clear that I would like you to help me with these like trigger points. It's not me asking for sex though. I don't want sex. He's like, why? Why do you have to assume that every man wants sex? So see? And here he is touching my fucking pussy. So then he's like, well, I just thought I could help you relax. I think you need to relax. I'm like, well, thank you, but no, this is not what we agreed. He's like, oh, you just want normal massage. I'm like, yes, like I told you. That's what I wanted. And then we just lay there or sit. Like I lay, he sits. And he starts touching me again. So I'm like, okay, I think you should go. He's like, okay, I'll go. And he leaves. and I'm supposed to go on a date tomorrow with another guy because there's an overflow of guys, which is called abundance if you're in the spiritual field. Maybe if you're just also like a normal person, or if you're a normal person, maybe that's like me being a whore. Who knows? And he said, let's just, so the guy tomorrow, he said, let's just meet and have like really good, deep, intriguing conversation, and we see where the day takes us. I'm like, no, that's code. That's code for sex. That's everything a man says. It's like a code for sex. It's so fucking frustrating. What happened to, oh, men are so upfront, they will just tell you. No. Some men will. They'll be like, hey, wanna fuck? That's distasteful. It's off-putting as fuck. But at least it's honest, you know? At least it's honest. This shit is just... And me being like, okay, what does that mean? I need clarification on, let's just see where the flow takes us. Oh, that just means... And I get another like fluff piece of information. And I'm like, okay, can I tell you how I feel? He's like, yeah. I feel like there's no substance. There's a lot of nice words from you, and I'm trying to like figure out where you stand, where you want, like your values, some firmness in you, to figure out what am I dealing with here. Just like vagueness all over, which is, to me, I'm like 99% he will try something, 99% he will make a move. And then I feel bad for making the assumption. Then I feel like, how can I ever find someone if I'm living by this suspicion? And how distrustful of a bitch am I supposed to be? You know? I feel that. That, oh, I must be... Do you have trust issues? Like, I will get that. And another part of me is like, well, the likelihood of what's playing out. I mean, I've given chances and I know what happens. But you know, you can't know for sure. You can't know until you've been there and it happened. I feel like men are so not in control of themselves. I feel like men are so... I don't know if they're just blind to themselves, if they are aware but lying intentionally. But I don't understand how men, you guys, like, why do you want to be... Why do you want to have this reputation? Why are you not wanting to get your act together? This is so weird to me. And I have a really, like, I'm sitting with this feeling of, if I were to share this, it would be made my fault, one way or another. Like, I'm thinking, like, how would I like to be met in this? And it's not like I wanna go into whatever situation naive and blind, which I feel like I didn't do that today. I had in the back of my head, and I gave a chance also. Like, I did so many things I can do to safeguard myself, but also being somewhat open. Like, I have needs for touch, trying to meet those in some way. But it's never did someone tell me, none of this is your fault. None of this is your fault. Like, I think having someone tell me that, like, looking at me and being like, you did nothing wrong. It's okay to trust. I'm sorry he wasn't who he said he was. I'm sorry he was not in integrity with himself. Sorry he made you feel bad. It's so painful wanting to trust people. And having had so much shit in the past, that is really, it's a big thing to trust. To be made wrong for trusting, I hate that. I hate that's not seen as, oh wow, she keeps trying, you know, she didn't lose hope, she didn't lose her heart despite everything she's been through. She's still out there giving people a chance. How beautiful is that? No one told me that. No one really held men accountable for shit. Nothing. No one raised the bar. It's not even raising the bar. The bar is fucking like minus 1,000 at this point. No one held like a standard or held men to a standard. It's so wild to me how there's so much like, if I imagine this just an energy, me voicing like a painful experience, and it's like the wave of like, you're bad, judgment, shame, like you did wrong. It's like this wave of like drowning me. All this energy goes to oof over me, when it could have been like stop and like directed towards him and being like that direction. Protect me, care for me, and figure out what's his deal. Someone teach him to be a proper man. And not because my first reaction was like to be vengeful, but it's not even that. It's like he's not taught right. He's not taught right. Someone teach him how to be a man. He needs that. He would feel better if he was in that. What happened to men who wants to cherish and adore and protect a woman who is attuned to her? Sad. Where is the man who has reverence, if that's the right word, who has like I don't know how to say this, who sees the woman as someone to worship, you know, someone so beautiful, so like they can see her as the love that she is. And I'm not talking about making her the goddess or making her like higher or making her untouchable. It's just like seeing that she's a woman. And wanting to treat her right. Just because that's what you want for her. You want the best. If she doesn't want to, you don't want to. Doesn't feel good if she doesn't want to. I feel like there's more I want to say, but I also feel like it's a whole, that's like a different door. And I feel like I should have some sort of, again, as always, I should have some final, like, something, some clarity, wisdom, some Instagrammable quote, whatever. And I don't. I'm not even sure if I'm clearer in myself, although it was really good to get all that out. Because I feel more sad though. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't want it to be wrong the way I am. I don't want the world to be in this way that I'm the stupid one for being what I think is so pure and beautiful. It's perfect. I wish the world was so that I and people could be like this. And that was revered. That's not the right word. Like, the people who lived like this, it was wholehearted living and it was seen like as a gift. I think I would like for me to see that as a gift. I think I would like for that, for me to really hold that firmly, that I don't want to, when people say like, oh, but you shouldn't have. No, I want to be in the position where I'm like, no, I'm doing exactly what I would like to do and what I think is the right thing to do. I would like the world to be like this, so I am like this. And I want other people to fucking change, not me. Them. I want my surroundings to change so I can be this. I want to be unshakable in that. I want to be so firm that there's no other choice than for my surroundings to change to me. That's what I would like. Thank you for listening to all this mess.